welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm your host, WebDave, David Anthony, and then, of course, we got my co-host, the ultimate, RHETRI. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Dave? Glad to be here. The ultimate. I like that. I've never heard that one before. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think you're pretty awesome. So there you go.
You're awesome too, buddy.
That's the reason why you're here in the co-host chair, man. Got to have somebody cool to hang out with and make me look better than I do. So there we go. And we also have two amazing, absolutely amazing panel members tonight. I'm so excited for this. We have the one and only Hargeet Chani. Hargeet, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I've been playing a whole bunch of Tears of the Kingdom. That's pretty much been occupying all my free time now. I think I'm like 30 plus hours in and barely scratched the surface. That game's huge. But awesome. Yeah, it's great.
Fantastic. We'll have to get into that here in a minute. And then we have Crispybomb, the lowest voice, the sexiest, sultriest voice in the industry. Crispy, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? And it's great to be here. I mean, what better than to have Hargeet joining me as well? I mean, this is a foursome and a half right here. Pause. It's one of those. It's one of those great things that like me, like I haven't been gaming too much. I mean, mom in hospital, work, everything else, and then anniversary with my girlfriend. So we went and saw John Wick 4. John Wick is go watch it. If you watch the other three, you must watch this. You have to.
It's a definite.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll leave it at that. Everything that you love, you will get, and it's pretty amazing. So I mean, other than that, I mean, just hanging out with you guys is just going to be great. So let's get into it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. What's up? So what are we going to talk about first, RHETRI?
Well, I was going to ask these gentlemen what they're playing and what they've watched lately, but they kind of just answered that. Hargeet, I know Hargeet and me were just on a podcast the other day, and he set me up because I was giving a little slander about Tears of the Kingdom, and I only do that in a joking way because I actually haven't even played it, so I can't really talk trash about it. But he was setting me up, talking about he's like, did you like Elden Ring? I'm like, yeah, it was like a game of the year. He's like, what's the same damn thing? Okay, touche, sir, touche. I walked right into that one.
I love it.
But is there anything else you're playing, Hargeet? Or are you pretty much solidly playing Tears of the Kingdom right now?
That's been pretty much it for like a week now. It's just going back to Tears of the Kingdom. So
do you like the building mechanics in it? I haven't.
Yeah, and the more you do, the more interesting things you can do. So you can make. So I saw somebody put up a video of this where you can make a floating fortress, and it has turrets that are laser beams that auto target. And this is the thing that like Nintendo has done that's crazy, right? Everything just works, right? We like Bugthesda, we just expect the systems to have problems. Everything just works. Like you can create this monstrosity and just pummel things from the air, right? And you just randomly make stuff. It's just so odd.
I like that.
You can
I have
any way you like.
I have to ask this because I didn't know that there was building in there.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
Is the floating fortress actually supposed to be floating?
It's no. Basically, you can have either fire-based thrusters, or they have these fans. So you can put the fans on the bottom, have 4 of them, or whatever you want, right? And you have a control, so you can actually have your normal control joystick. So you actually can start controlling the thing, go up, down, left, right, whatever you want, right? And it does everything within it. And
okay, that's wild.
Works. You can make a ship. You can make a flying anything. You can make a car. It just does it. Like you can put things together whichever way you want, and all the mechanics around it, they all just flow. So you can make something that shouldn't have happened. It just works. Everything just freaking works. It's crazy.
See, I only brought that up because Fallout 4, literally, you can make floating fortresses, but they're floating for another reason.
Right. Yeah, no, they're not supposed to be.
The physics is all there. You just have thrusters. You have the ability to use these fan things to thrust up. Whatever you want to do. It's nuts.
That's pretty wild, man.
That is awesome, though.
It is cool. I've seen a few online examples of
yeah, I was waiting.
naughty bits.
I knew you were going there because when he said when he said something about floating, I'm like, who's gonna talk about the you know it and balls? I was waiting for that one. That's why.
Goodness. So
you
yes,
can make your
Crispy,
own penis with laser
pornographic.
beams.
I mean, as crazy as you want to.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh goodness. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I bought it. I literally played through the first couple of screens. Well, all right, go ahead and read it, Retro. You put it up there.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it back down. John Wolf, but has Hargeet made a giant mech with a torch for a
I haven't made it, but I did see that short. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
How long is Tears of the Kingdom? Because I see Abdel saying he's 30 hours into Tears now. Does anyone know what the time to beat that is?
I mean, if you want to just rush through it, just like Breath of the Wild, you can just go do that, right? But you'd have to be pretty skilled.
I think a speedrunner did it. I think it was like 12 hours. A speedrunner did it, but they didn't do any of the stuff that's logical. I mean, for at least somebody that's going to play.
Areas, the kingdoms, all that stuff. So like, if you wanted to like tear into it, I would say you really want to put away like 100 hours to really get into it. There's so much that you can do. They have like a whole underworld that has its own whole thing. So you can go explore that basically is the size of Hyrule, right? And then you have the upper world. For each one of the areas is a whole upper world.
Sounds a lot like Elden Ring. You were right, Hargeet.
It sounds like they delayed it to make it like Elden Ring.
A lot. Yeah.
I have to buy a Switch again. Sweet.
Oh goodness.
Or buy the game and emulate on PC, which is what I've been doing. I mean, I have.
Oh, good point. Good point, Hargeet. Yes,
he did.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah. I bought it digitally. It's on my Switch, and I played it on the Switch, and I actually didn't mind the frame rate. I just like the upres. It's kind of nice, and just the controller piece. For those who ever play between the Xbox and Switch, they mix up where the A and B and X and Y are. I can remap that on PC to what I remember with muscle memory. So when I hit A, I know where A is.
There you go.
I hear you.
So
I'd like to take a quick second and welcome out the over 36 people we have in chat right now. Thank you all for being here. Welcome one and all. And it's going to be a great show, and we're just getting started, just scratching the surface of how things are going. RHETRI, you want to start us off with our first topic? I know you got a video for this one too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot's been going on. Obviously, we got the EU approves Microsoft ABK merger with concessions. We kind of all saw that coming a mile away, and then of course, followed by China approves Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition. So that's cool. I'm glad to see China is joining the rest of planet Earth and being, not weird about this. But of course, we have UK Parliament just does not agree with the CMA decision, and we've seen the Prime Minister and other members of Parliament, stick their head in. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, but I want to let me hide this. Sorry. Let me get. Oh, you already did that for me. Thank you. Yeah, but I just wanted to play this little piece right here. Yeah, thank you, sir. You were right on it.
European regulators approved Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. I asked Andela before this was announced what he thought would happen given the developments here in the U.S. and the U.K.
Look, I mean, the fundamental logic of this deal, bringing more competition and more opportunity for publishers and gamers, still holds. So as far as I'm concerned, we keep going. We wait for what the European Union decides. We have a process. We obviously respect the sovereignty of the United Kingdom and the CMA to decide what's good, in that country.
Could you ever see an age where you would sell the product in the U.S. if it was approved, sell the products in Europe, and not sell it in the U.K. if they didn't approve it?
Let's wait for it all to play out.
Were you surprised by this decision in the UK?
Very much so. Very much. Because in some sense, this is the most pro-competitive thing I've ever seen. And most people will say that this is, and in an interesting way, it is using, in some sense, a large company's ability to persist and go introduce more competition. And I think consumer surplus, if that is the goal, and more competition is the goal, and the benefit for small publishers is the goal, then it checks all the boxes. So I'm very surprised.
At the same time, I asked Nadella about the
Oh,
regulatory
goodness.
environment right here, though, in the United States.
This time around, it looks like, if you're big somehow, you should somehow be sort of banned from doing things.
Big seems bad right now.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe a little reframing of let's take even, who would have, Microsoft and Google competing? Is that good or bad, right? In terms of consumer surplus, you talked about publishers. Who is going to benefit? Guess what will happen? If search actually becomes competitive, who do you think benefits? Every advertiser will get cheaper prices. Every publisher will get better yield. And end users will get better innovation. So it seems like, hey, two big companies competing might be a good thing.
Exactly.
Facts.
Can
Go
I
for it.
just go for it right now?
Go right in,
I will
Crispy.
give you a prime example of the same thing of what the last part of what he said about Google and Microsoft. You understand they're two huge companies, right? The one thing about Microsoft is and Google used to have a program they used to use a lot, which is like funding like smaller companies. They haven't done that as much as they used to. Okay. So Microsoft's kind of like took in this, I'm in the back seat, I'm going to do what's right for me, and that's it, to
Right.
like ID at Xbox, which is it's been around for a while. As far as publishing rights and everything else, like they will take the hit and they will pay the people what they the contractually obligated. But if they don't want to go into that contract, why do it to begin with? So they do that, and it helps them. So like these contracts with these smaller, cloud streaming services is very important, because you have this back end deal with Microsoft, and Microsoft, because they don't want to look like the big bad guy, is not going to want you to fail. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I go back to Crispybomb, and I say, look, what I'm telling you is that, Microsoft wants to look like the good guy. They do.
Right. Yeah,
And
I agree.
I agree with a lot of people that say they are going to be super, super reluctant to pull out of the UK because they don't want to look like the bad guy. And that is going to be a part of it. But if the UK continues, going back to the Parliament thing, if the CMA continues to just ignore that and CAT does nothing, and still you have all of these other people that are in the government saying this is wrong, there's going to be, this influx of negativity involved, and one side's going to be on the other and the other side's going to be on the other. And then Microsoft's going to be like, you know what? Let's stop this. We're just going to pull cloud right out of there. We've already heard there's only technically 5,000 users can use cloud at the same time as of now. They are in their infancy stage. Okay. The UK broke off from the EU.
I love you, Talos.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a great
and
comment.
they continue to do this. So
right.
They want to carve their own, path at this point, because they were a part of the EU. And unfortunately, it has become where, certain tech companies can do whatever they want, but certain can't. And you kind of question that. So then who's the bad guy? But even like the best example is that now I can get fiber optic, right? I also have YouTube TV, which is actually far superior from what I've ever had from cable. I just want to mention that. So
yeah.
I have gotten the internet, and this is how these small guys come in here. And now all of a sudden, the big cable companies are looking at it and they drop their price to way under. Okay. But they'll be like, oh, you get 500 megabits and you get our cable package for $70 instead of the $300 you tried to charge me years ago.
Right.
Think about that. So, like these companies that are fiber optic aren't coming in super small. Like it could be like a subsidy of Verizon or something, for all I know. Like I have Go Net Speed, but I don't know what who's actually running the show. All I know is everything's worked pretty darn well for the most part compared to what I've had. But that's where the competition goes. So you imagine like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, like at least there's competition between all three rather than one leading the entire pack. And then you have zero options at that point. So like this just seems like another, it's not like Microsoft has the best servers in the world. Like most people would say the Amazon, systems and even Google are on par or better. You know what I'm saying? Especially for like businesses and stuff like that. So I don't know, like it just seems like irrelevant to be continually bringing up the cloud in the CMA region because there's just not enough people using Microsoft's cloud at this point. So, I mean, yeah, you could say, okay, Windows and that's more Azure and all that shit. I get it. Excuse my language. I get it. I understand that. Okay. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about gaming. And they're literally not selling Xbox Series X's and, shorting the supply because they're trying to fill these servers so quickly. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you look at the rest of these regions that have approved it. I mean, everybody remember when Crazy Louie was like, dude, I don't even have like good cloud access.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which I think is a majority of people, right?
Why not give the Dominican Republic good cloud access? Give them some of the servers that the UK apparently don't want. You know what I mean? Maybe we should be at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to get all crazy about everything, and then the rest of the world is just like, what's going on here? Like, we don't even have this. Like, what are you complaining about? So I look at it like, glass half full, glass half empty, whatever you want to call it. It's an interesting thing because if somebody don't have it, why would they fight it? And that's because these regulatory bodies should be looking at their own region. And that's where we go into the collusion thing with the FTC, because the FTC knows they don't have something to stand on. They have no hill to stand on because they know they're going to go to court and they're going to get, they're going to get taken to school, and all that money that's taxpayers' money is just going to be sitting there like, okay, let's just spend all this on something that's never going to be won, and it doesn't even hurt us. What is going on here? I don't know. It's a weird situation at this point. Satya is obviously chuckling because he doesn't understand it. He really doesn't. He's been in business for so long. He's clearly the CEO. He's seen Microsoft be bad, and he's tried to make it better. You know what I mean? Like, he's the reason why, Phil's where he's at. He's the reason why gaming's still important. And he's just looking at this and was like, dude, like, come on. Like, you guys are being ridiculous. I mean, what else are you going to do but laugh? I mean, it's crazy.
Because it seems so absurd, right? You just got to laugh at it. Yeah.
I mean, I am sick of talking about this, but at the same time,
Who isn't?
I mean, literally, like it's at the point of like, what is logical and what is not.
Right.
And I'm saddened at certain areas, including my own damn country at this point, that have fought this. And it seems like for nothing, when I've seen things that are far worse just be ignored. And that's ridiculous.
Okay, I want to jump in real quick and say welcome out to Dirt Griggity. I really appreciate you being here tonight, buddy, in the chat. That's so awesome. And his episode drops tomorrow here on this channel. You definitely want to watch that interview. It is absolutely awesome. He is amazing content.
We love Dirt. Dirt's awesome. You don't know that, Dirt, but I'm a big fan of yours, and that's why you're going to be on the show soon, sir. You don't know that.
This is about competition. Let us have competition.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So Hargeet, let's find out your viewpoint on this.
So Crispy, you mentioned something about them wasting time on this instead of better things. They did finally go to another good thing, which is they're looking at the drug prices, and that's what I'd want, right? This is she came in to fix those kind of things. Like, yes, absolutely, look at that. That's literally life and death. 100% look at that. Go figure out what to do there. In this case, I don't understand why they're wasting their time. I think it's just the big numbers. That's really it. Like, when it started, we had 3 senators come up and say, "Oh my God, you got to block this deal." Like, why? Because they don't understand the industry, right? 70 billion out of something that's trillions of dollars is not a big deal, but unfortunately, they think it's a big deal because they just don't understand gaming, right? They think it's a niche little nothing market. Like, no. It dwarfs everything else in entertainment.
Oh yes,
right?
Absolutely.
But that's and so they're wasting their time on this. They're going to lose anyway, right? But like, instead, go look at those kind of things that actually affect people's daily lives, actual health. Like, that's a great idea. Yes, please do more of that. Wasting your time on this instead is, I don't even get it. But as far as the CMA thing, oh my goodness, like, is it possible they pulled the nuclear option? Yes, it unfortunately is a possibility. I don't know where the pressure goes, right? This is very unprecedented. This does not normally happen,
exactly.
Right? So, the entirety of the government coming after them, the equivalent of the finance minister, the exchequer, or something, whatever it is, coming after them, like, this is not normal. This is not
this is
right?
very that's why I kind of say, like, when it comes to carving it out. So Hargeet, I'm gonna just to step in real quick, because there's the whole carving out the cloud gaming, and then there's carving out ABK altogether in the UK, and there's
Xbox
people
altogether.
Or Xbox altogether, which is nuclear mode. But then we have guys like Luke Steele in mergers and acquisition, a lawyer with 20 years experience, telling us, okay, but then they could get fined in totality for Microsoft, fined off of whatever Microsoft's profit is, up to anywhere from 5 to 10%. I'm seeing all kinds of different numbers. I see 5%, and I'm seeing other people put out. Okay, that's what I thought.
He talked about it yesterday on Gaz's show.
Yeah, I saw someone else putting out 10%. I'm like, which one is it? Either way, that's a lot of money. I guess the question is, does Microsoft care? Do you think they would do you think they could carve it out and take the fine and move on? Does the fine happen every year? Like, that's what I don't know. Does it just keep coming? Or, like, what's the real ramifications for Microsoft giving the middle finger to the CMA here?
My assumption is that it's a separate business, and therefore you can just decide, well, I don't want to do that business in your territory. If that isn't a viability, then that brings in a whole other thing. And Microsoft could walk away from the UK. That is absolutely the case. I mean, in the entirety of Microsoft. The problem is the UK. That would devastate the UK, right? You can't, like, imagine all of your desktops are gone. All of your servers are gone. Like, a lot of servers run Windows Server. A lot of services run SQL, that would be devastating to them. Not to mention, every international company licenses Windows. They expect to be able to deploy that on every user's machine. What happens, right? That would be insanity, right? It's just, I don't even know that it's conceivable that Microsoft could pull out from the UK without causing all sorts of devastation. That just seems way off. I imagine not having, right, your entire computing infrastructure is just gone. Like, what that I can't even imagine how that would work, right? So, and then there's all sorts of patents. I guess that would be okay because, like, even your phones have Microsoft patents in them, right? Hopefully that doesn't mean that your phones are now invalid, but, like, it's an insane thing to do. But if you take just the gaming and say, we're just going to carve out gaming and not do it in the UK, I don't know. I don't know where the fines go, right? Because you could always say, I take Xbox, make it a subsidiary. It's not part of Microsoft, right? I just have controlling stake in Xbox. Therefore, it's sort of owned, but it's not really. And then Xbox merges with ABK. Now what do they do, right?
Like what Drawn TJ was just saying, pull cloud gaming out of UK, which is what I've been saying, I think, and what also Dave's been saying, I think a lot of us have been saying. And I said that on Twitter, and I tagged Luke and I tagged Hogue, and Luke actually got back to me and said that's what he was talking about. He said, well, the CMA will go after them if they try to pull cloud gaming, specifically that market, out of the UK. And I was like, really? So I don't know. There's so many.
It takes away the competition, right? And they want to keep the competition. To me, my better answer is just kill cloud gaming altogether for Xbox. I just don't see the value.
No, it's almost. Yeah, I almost can't disagree with that.
NVIDIA exists. You could just let them control all that, because it's better to have Boosteroid and NVIDIA and whoever else, right? Like, go ahead and let them do the cloud thing, and then if it goes anywhere, fine. Because Microsoft is taking Xboxes and putting it in the cloud, which means it's a pretty expensive endeavor for them to do. And instead of letting like the people that just run servers, NVIDIA makes the GPUs, let them just do it. Like, let them go figure out how to make that work, and then just license their games. That's a much easier.
Do you think that could be? I guess my question is, like, is Microsoft doing what Microsoft does a lot of the time and just being smart and seeing the future? And most of us aren't realizing that cloud could be huge in the future. And I say that only because only because of the access to cloud. Right. So we talk about, I know, like Brad Smith and other people have said, well, you're going to be able to do all these things locally because our phones are getting so powerful. But the only benefit I see in cloud is access. And now if Elon puts his internet all over the world, then that access becomes everywhere, right? That everyone can have.
It doesn't matter what internet you have. It matters where the server is, right? So you'd have to put cloud, you'd have to put Xboxes everywhere, right? So you'd have to say, I'm going to put like 1,000 of them in this part of the Dominican,
you're right.
1,000 in that part of the Dominican, 1,000. Like, that's a lot of cost if you really want to get to those levels of access.
Yes,
it's just untenable. And I don't.
You'd have to have servers all over the world, server warehouses everywhere.
So latency is never going to go away, right? So from the Dominican to go to Virginia or to Dallas, something like that. There's just a physical distance, right? And that physical distance, it runs at the speed of light, but there's a physical distance, and that we can't overcome it. We don't know how to go past the speed of light, right? So that's where we're stuck. Yes, the bandwidth could be better at the endpoint. That's fine. So you could solve that with 5G or whatever comes after it. But that doesn't change the physical distance between you and the data center where the servers are or the Xboxes are. And to me, to do it that way is such a, it doesn't bring in customers. That's been their problem, right? So Phil has kind of stated
I agree with that one. Yeah,
they're not seeing the return. They think maybe it'll happen in the future. I don't think it will. I just don't see that point. Like, what they should focus on instead is, how do I take my AAA games and target Android and iOS? That's what they should be looking at.
Mobile.
How do we get there? And they're partially doing it anyway. They want to make a mobile store, and that's what you need to do. You need to now take your catalog and say, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to launch on Android, iOS, Xbox, PC, right? That's what they should look at. And because that game is far enough out that it should be able to run on that iPhone that comes out 5 years, 6 years from now, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm seeing. And like the cloud thing, especially for them, they're not getting returns. The point was to get 10, 20 million subscribers. They didn't get any. There's just not, nobody's using this. It's an ancillary benefit. So people use it to say, hey, I'm going to try this before downloading. Fair enough. That's cool. Hey, I happen to be in a mobile mode right now. Use it. Right. And I just want to try it out. And okay, I can play my game. And when I get home, I'm going to play it back on my console or my PC. Right. Cool. But that's not bringing you new customers. And it's a lot of expense to do that. So is it worth it? I think it's better now that they've done all these deals. Literally, their entire catalog will be available to all these other providers. Let them do it. And pull yourself out of the whole SLC. It just eliminates the SLP. I agree with the UK if they just say, hey, take it away from UK. It's like, why are you taking it away from just us? You're not taking away the competition. We don't want that. And I agree with that. If you just say, I'm done with xCloud, it's not
done with the business
benefit.
Get
rid of it.
I mean,
that's one way to go.
That. I do like that. I mean, I don't think anything you said was wrong. I was trying to play devil's advocate because I'm trying to figure out the future. What is Microsoft seeing in the future for cloud themselves? Because I can't necessarily see it either. I don't see where the growth is. I don't see, like you said, they have to have servers everywhere, and it's an impossibility. You can't really reach worldwide without spending trillions. I don't know how you could possibly do it. And then you have people like Void Rat here. I've had Game Pass for about 3 years, never used xCloud once, and I don't know anyone who personally that uses it. Exactly, Void Rat. And what Hargeet just said is, most of the people that I know who have used it are the use cases that Hargeet just mentioned, and that is, I want to get my stupid Microsoft points and play this stupid game I'm never gonna play in my entire life for 10 minutes, so I can get that achievement, move on, or to try out a game before I download it, just to see if I like it for like 30 minutes, and then I'll decide to download it or move on with my life. And I think that's how most people are probably using it. And even outside of that, I don't even think most of us are even doing that. So. It's curious to understand where the UK came out with the 60 to 70% number.
Well, they didn't.
I don't know.
They counted people who had at some point used it, right? So
Yes,
like I've
yes.
tried it, right? That doesn't
Yep,
mean I use
so you
it. I
count-
tried it. I didn't like it. I'm done.
Exactly.
Yeah, I tried it.
Exactly.
I tried it as
I'm
well.
good.
Same thing.
We all
I
dabbled,
would-
and they
I
all
would-
counted us.
Well, that's where we go back. Hargeet, you were completely right, dude. Like, think about it. Like these anything you use your phone or whatever, and you play or you do whatever on like a tablet or something, these things are going to like exponentially be better, and they're going to be able to hold because of just technology and how it has gone for our entire lives. I mean, really, you look at it, it's going to have the ability to just natively play the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, cloud can have its purpose. I mean, it really, like for our phones or something like that, it's really, like you take too many pictures or something. Like, I mean, like Apple will charge me $3 to have, a gigabyte of cloud. You know what I mean? Microsoft charges me nothing as of now. You know what I mean? I can transfer everything.
That's true.
To anything on Microsoft, and it doesn't charge me. They charge my company, and I can use my company because they use all, the whole 365 platform and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like I'm covered on that. I can use that if I really want to, but at the same time, I don't know if they can see my private pictures or whatever it may be.
They see
you know
it
what
all,
I'm
it's
saying?
fine.
Not like Google isn't looking at your pictures.
Exactly.
Apple probably is
See,
too.
these are the things that should be worried about, though, right? I mean, seriously.
And by the way, that is what I would rather the FTC go after, right? Is go figure out what privacy issues have been created. What can we do to secure people's privacy? Like that. Absolutely, go do that.
Or break the UK. Worry about breaking up the duopoly that is Apple and Google, and let Microsoft get a piece of that too. Like Jesus, come on, guys. They just want to store. They just want to storefront. It's not a big deal.
It's a throuple because Amazon apparently they can do no wrong now. It's interesting. But who's throwing in the bag? I mean, Microsoft can only throw a so large of a bag. If you got all other three, like, nah, bro, we're not down with this.
Yeah, someone did mention earlier, like what the heck's going on? Because I thought Amazon, the cloud, Microsoft offering them the cloud to them and COD and everything on all their games was coming. Now I'm thinking that it was probably offered, and Amazon give them a big middle finger because they don't want this to pass either. I don't know, but let me play this.
Help Amazon if it passed, because if it didn't pass,
you would think.
Because if they want to expand in gaming, which they do, obviously they're looking to get into it. They would need to make acquisitions too, and
absolutely
you want to clear the board to say that this is normal and you can go buy it. They might want to buy EA or Ubisoft, right? And like EA was on the purchasing block, right? They wanted to be bought by Comcast, Universal, whatever the
Comcast back in the day,
so that didn't work out, but I'm sure they're still pricing themselves out to other people. Like, hey, and Amazon's a good option, right? So I think they would want.
I would think the same thing. That's why I thought that deal was coming. I thought it was weird that we hadn't heard, because what we haven't heard is a single cloud person say anything negatively about this deal whatsoever. Not one. Like, I wonder why.
Imagine if Microsoft has it bad with cloud gaming, imagine how bad that is for Amazon. who
Exactly.
every Prime user has access to cloud. And what are they, like 200 million, whatever ridiculous.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they're right. And
Yeah,
Boom's mentioned that multiple times, right? So they're Hargeet, you're onto something. They counted every Game Pass Ultimate user as a cloud user and just fucking ignored the biggest company on planet Earth, Amazon, and who has way more subscribers than anybody, and completely freaking ignored them. It's like, what are you doing?
And we don't hate it either. Do we hate it? No. I mean, I like my Prime membership. It's actually
I do
not
too.
bad.
But how much? Here's my question though.
Value. I mean,
Right, but here's my question to all you Prime users, and I know probably almost everybody here has it. Have you used cloud gaming? Have you been gaming through Luna? Because I sure shit haven't.
Nope.
Exactly, because we don't use that either.
But I've never.
But that's where you go down to the Sony argument, and you say they are not a publisher. They don't. Apparently, they have studio. I don't know what they're doing. Because I mean, it's taking.
They have a couple of games. They were okay. They were pretty good games.
Yeah, they had a good game come out. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but they did have a big hit.
Apple has this as well, but they're not a AAA game publisher. Like you could say what you want, but go play Forza Horizon 5 if you think GT7's good. I'm sorry, bro. You got a problem. I'm just saying. And just wait until Forza Motorsport comes out, because that's all it's going to be called.
Yeah,
and it's going to be, dude, like
the reboot.
I'm sorry, dude. like PC gamers are going to be all up in this, because guess what? Microsoft has embraced the fact that you can do whatever you want as long as your interface allows it. And they're in the PC. They release day and date in the PC with a lot of their titles. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, like maybe they're scared of that, like the fact that Microsoft's a publisher and, they have cloud, they have all these little, hands in the cookie jars. Like I've said, they have consoles, they have maybe a dongle down the road. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
he said dongle.
I really wish they would just change that word and call it literally anything but dongle. It feels like AAA banger. Makes me cringe.
It's a mini console. There you go.
But to your point, Crispybomb, when you were saying like, hey, you can get like YouTube TV, there's also a competition to that, like Fubo or Dish.
A ton.
Right. So
yeah.
And then HBO Max exists, and
Sony used to be in that game too, and they quit. Sony View. It was actually really good.
And if you look at all of that, right, and you say, so I think that the thing that they're mixing up is that they assume that because you have cloud gaming, that you're a platform. That's not true. I, as a device holder, can choose anybody's cloud at any time. Nothing stops me from using NVIDIA. If I also happen to have xCloud, I can do that. Right. I can decide I don't want xCloud anymore. I'm just going to pay for NVIDIA. That's up to me. Right. Nothing stops that. The amount of games that are out there is in the millions. Right. So Microsoft is not going to own millions of games. They're going to own a few hundred. It's so ridiculous to think that somehow that would constitute a catalog of games that's impossible for somebody to compete with. Namely, Sony does that today, and I don't know, other companies like EA happen to have a massive catalog of games. Ubisoft has a massive catalog of games. Like, there's so many companies out there, I could keep going, right, that have so many games. You're telling me that none of them can compete with just this catalog of the publishers that Microsoft? That's an impossible thing to say, because Disney exists. It has Marvel. It has Lucas. It has its own catalog. Right. And which one of the animated things did they buy? They bought one of them, right? Pixar, maybe, I can't remember which one, but they bought one of those. And it's like, well, okay, so all that exists, and you're telling me that Paramount Plus can't possibly compete with that? They can. Right. They just put out content.
Yeah, they have MTV Studios, which has turned into something different than what it used to be.
That is completely, that's actually making hit shows right now, which is kind of surprising.
Yellowstone is pretty darn good.
Huge. It's huge for them. Yeah.
So
it's
the
funny.
Spin-offs are really good. The spin-offs are really good.
I agree.
They're on the right path. They got Beavis and Butthead. I mean, come on. I mean, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like
all the young people are like, who?
Yes, I know, right?
But they.
Oh yeah. Come to Butthead.
Dave does that really well. right, I'm gonna play this little piece before we get too off subject because I just want to see what you guys think about this and if this could ever come to fruition.
To shift to Microsoft's bid for Activision Blizzard, the UK shut down the deal, but then regulators in the EU approved it. So then what does this mean for the company overall?
Yeah, it's kind of a confusing place now where we have the likes of Japan, the EU saying you can move forward with this deal. Microsoft can acquire Activision Blizzard for that $70 billion and, start to become a larger player in the gaming space. Meanwhile, you have the UK as well as the US with the FTC basically saying, no, we don't want this deal to happen. The Microsoft and Activision Blizzard can appeal those. They can fight the lawsuit that the FTC has brought. They can appeal the decision by the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK. If they are able to show in the US that the EU is correct in its ruling and that, look, we have these guarantees. We're going to work with Sony. We're going to work with Nintendo, with NVIDIA. We already have deals in place with Nintendo and NVIDIA where we'll provide Call of Duty. That's the game that they're all talking about with 10 years of content. Then perhaps the FTC can say, okay, or a judge can say, okay, you're satisfying the concerns that the FTC has there. If that happens, then what happens in the UK? Well, if Activision Blizzard and Microsoft can't appeal or lose the appeal there, some of the experts I spoke to say they might just carve out the UK on its own, set up a secondary business where they'll just operate as they do now, separate entities. And on the global scale, you would have Microsoft and Activision being able to offer their services as one. So you would have basically what Microsoft wants to do is make its cloud gaming platform the best in the world. Frankly, it is right now as far as offerings go and capabilities. And then they'll be able to grow in the mobile gaming space. Another part that a lot of people aren't talking about, but an important piece of this discussion. Now, they would be able to do that everywhere else in the world. People would be able to play games on their smartphones that they otherwise wouldn't be able to do because of cloud gaming. And then the UK would just be left kind of in the dust. And perhaps down the line that would change. But it looks like if they are able to go forward in the US, then the UK will just be left behind.
A quick welcome out to Mr. Boomstick XL.
What's
Welcome,
up,
Boom.
Boom.
Love having you here.
Welcome, sir.
Boom,
Good
boom,
to have you.
boom. No.
I guess we'll end this with like, do you guys think there's like, I know you touched on this, Hargeet, but do you guys think, and anyone can go with this, do you think it's a possibility that they'll go nuclear and that they'll pull out? Obviously, this guy is saying this would happen after it goes back to the CMA and the CMA says no again. This would be if the appeal completely collapses. Does anyone see this as a possibility? Carving out in any fashion. I don't even care if it's just the cloud. Like, do you guys see Microsoft possibly going to those lengths?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that they'll want to do is close this deal, right? They wanted to close it by the end of this fiscal for them, which is end of June. They have a deadline mid-July to end the deal, right? Or they pay penalties or have to renegotiate. For them, it's just better to close the deal. Now, if that means they have to create a subsidy or something like that, a subsidiary in the UK, that's still going to require an approval from the board of ABK because CMA approval was a requirement of the deal.
Right.
So either way, they're going to have to go back and talk to them to either extend or to create that little mitigation. The mitigation is an easier thing to do because when you open up the chapter of extending, you now open up the price of the shares and say, is it valid to charge 95? Is it higher? Is it lower? And it's better to say, let's not approach that. Let's just create a mitigation for this and, keep fighting. We'll keep fighting, but ultimately shareholders will get their money and, the board can move on and the company is merged and Microsoft will fight the fight and figure out the UK later, right? So if they create a subsidiary, that's a simpler thing to do, assuming it's all viable, and I think it is, but assuming it's all viable. And then they'll keep fighting that as far as what mitigations are needed, get out of the cloud or change the cloud, or it's like, hey, CMA, can you just take what the EU did and bank on their, checks and balances there, right? They'll continue to monitor us or whatever. We can pay for monitoring, whatever it is, right? The FTC case, well, I don't know if there is a case, and they haven't stopped them yet, right? So
yeah.
And the gamers lawsuit, they tried to get an injunction to stop the potential for merging, but that got denied, and you can kind of glean, and again, it's just gleaning.
But where that's going
from the language that is likely going to be tossed very soon.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because it's very hard for individuals to prove harm in the future for somebody who's not the market dominant leader. It's just very hard to prove that out.
Yeah,
like, good luck, right?
For a nascent market that pretty much doesn't exist. Yeah.
And in the US, you can't go on nascent markets, right? So you can't decide, hey, 20 years from now, Microsoft could be big in this thing. They don't care, because that's 20 years from now, and the FTC can look at it then, right? There's no guarantee that the cloud even exists 20 years from now. We don't know, right? For gaming, it may not. It may thrive. It may be awesome, but we don't know, right? So they're going to toss that, right? I don't see it going anywhere. The FTC case is pretty much the same. Everywhere else, they're like, the console. Are you kidding me? Sony owns the market. What are you talking about? So that's out,
right?
And what else is left? Is cloud and potentially subscriptions. Like, everybody's looked at the same thing and said, well, yeah, I guess cloud, maybe at EU and CMA, but everywhere else has been unconditional. Nobody's said any issues with remedies. They're just like, yeah, just go ahead. So, the FTC is going to have to make some decision there as to whether they want to create an injunction, which they'll lose. So if they do that, that nullifies their case entirely. It's just
right.
Dumb, right? So if they do that, so Microsoft has very, very good incentives to, even before the case happens, because they're not listening to them. We heard that rumor, right? The FTC is not listening to them. So they say, hey, here's the remedies. And like, we don't want to talk to you. Okay, well, so then they have every incentive to just close. Right. So I would not be surprised. So they have a promise to the judge in the gamers lawsuit that they won't close before the 22nd, right? Which is Monday, tomorrow.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll lapse tomorrow. I would not be surprised that they go ahead and create this subsidiary thing and put it in. So they have to talk to ABK, right? And get all that squared away, that by the end of this month or beginning of next month, that they go ahead and just do that. And then they close the deal, right? I would not be surprised. That doesn't mean that that's going to happen. I would not be surprised. All right. And then they're done. And then from there, they just figure out the CMA process and whatever, right? If the FTC decides to sue to block, then they'll have to go through that trial. And I don't know how long that's going to take, at which point they would have to negotiate. It's likely it would take more than a month. So it's likely that they would have to go negotiate and then extend the deal, right? So we'll have to see. But it would take away all potential for the FTC to do anything, because they don't have a case to stop it. Right. 40 countries around the world will like, go ahead. Like, what case?
Right. 37. Yeah. 37 against 1. Yeah.
Hargeet, to throw in on that, just so I mean, technically, and now this is to everybody, but I mean, just whoever wants to jump in. But Hargeet, since you were talking about this part, the FTC. I mean, if Microsoft decides to just go ahead and do it in the U.S., they can, and then the FTC would have to sue them, take them to court to stop it.
What they're already doing. Yeah,
but I mean, it would still go through until a judge says
you have to undo it.
Stop. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's the thing. It can just go plow right ahead. And most people who have looked at this say that in the U.S. there isn't a case, and most likely, if it did go to court,
the administrative judge would say that there's a case, right?
Correct.
Right.
So it might not even
get going to a federal judge.
Microsoft really don't want to burn that bridge. I mean, let's be honest. Okay,
are you talking the UK bridge going nuclear? Or are you talking FTC?
I'm talking no. The UK they don't. Oh my God! Like I hear all these people tell me that, like, the United Kingdom, is the CMA, that jurisdiction is some kind of like Cinderella. Like you don't have the amount of people that like half these other countries do. Like you don't. I mean, let's compare America to China in population. Yeah, they have us like almost 3 times. Okay, 3 times over. I mean, this is where I go and say, like, I understand like everybody's logic, like, like UK is important to them. They live there. I understand that completely. I'm with you. I think the FTC is being a little crazy right now. Okay, I get it. And some people are like, dude, like, I don't like this at all. I hope Microsoft spanks them, and they live there. And the same goes for me on the FTC side. But I want to bring this point up. The top 5. I just searched it like maybe 5 minutes ago. The top 5 companies in the world, net worth wise. What are they?
Apple.
You looked it up. Tell us.
Apple, Amazon. Yeah. Why are you quizzing us? Google. I don't know.
Google, and then I think it's Meta's next.
Okay.
Tell us, Crispy. Lay the facts.
The top 5 companies in the world.
I'm sorry.
As of
I
right
missed Saudi
now.
Aramco. Saudi Aramco is one of them.
You are correct, sir.
Yes, Saudi Aramco.
It is Amazon. And this is why I love Hargeet. That's why I say he's a legend. It is Amazon is number 1 right now.
Wow, really?
Even
Apple.
Yes. It is as of right now.
Amazon's
it is beating Apple. Apple is number 2. Google is number 3. Microsoft is number 4. And then the Saudi one is number 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you have 4 of the 5 are American companies.
Right.
That is number 1. Number 2, 3 of the 4, just like Microsoft does, has a significant influence in the UK region. They have been there almost as long as Microsoft. Okay. Yes, Apple might have been a little later because they almost went bankrupt at one point, which a lot of people don't remember. Microsoft actually gave them bag. If you didn't know that, they saved that company.
I remember that interview well when Bill Gates' face comes on the screen and everybody's like,
but that's when we thought Microsoft was big bad Microsoft. They just bought everything, but they didn't buy Apple. They gave them money because they wanted to purchase something else, which is logical. This is where I go and say the CMA is in a position point where they have leverage. Why don't you use it? You know what I mean? Like, because, lawfully and logically, it doesn't make sense. But why don't you use your leverage right now? And they won't do it. It's so political. It's crazy. And then you let Amazon, who's number 1 right now, hey, here's
slide on by.
Here's Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know why, Crispy?
You
know why?
Dude.
You know why, Crispy? Here's why, Crispy.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, I love that freaking movie, man.
That's too to put something else in perspective, since you brought all that up, is the value of Microsoft today is 2.37 trillion. The entire GDP of the UK is 2.83. Just want to point that out. That's what they're messing with.
All right. Let me put this up. I agree with you. So beer baron, UK population.
Are we drinking salty tears now, sir? No.
The beer baron, UK population is around 69 million. Is that worth killing the whole deal over where you could service billions worldwide? Beer baron. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Brought my point to fruition. You understand what I'm saying? You're talking about 1, 2, and 3 that do not have any type of unions in their systems, except for Amazon, who had to accept it in certain factories.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now
I call them factories, or they're fulfillment centers. I understand that. But that's what I'm saying, dude. They don't want this. Microsoft's playing super good guy. To have all of these unions behind them, that is a big deal. And that goes across the world, not just countries. This is something bigger than we're realizing. I left it for here. I did not do this on Breakfast with Boom because I didn't want to. I left it for here because think about it. It's bigger than that. And they all have a foothold in the UK. And then you have the FTC, which we all know lobbyists. They get paid on the back end and we don't hear about it. That's why I want them all to give their entire tax records, all transactions. You know what? You want to be in the limelight. You want to be the person that is going to tell us what we should do. Well, guess what? You should give us all your information then, because that's what we do half the time and nobody's fighting for it. Not a single person.
So you're
Everybody's
saying
sitting there.
Microsoft has enough money to just buy the UK outright? Excellent.
Pretty much. I mean, you've seen we've seen it a million times if you've been following Foss patents. It's really funny to see the dichotomy going on Twitter right now between like Foss and Luke Steele and Hogue and in post up. Like there's a lot of all these guys I love, I trust them.
Oh, man,
but they are very much on the opposite ends of this. It's really funny to see go down. But let's see.
We have over 111 people here, by the way. Just want to say thank you and welcome
thank you,
everybody here, and thank you to our guest panelists tonight, Hargeet, Chani, Crispybomb. You guys are so amazing. Thank
and sorry,
you so
I'm
much for being here,
blocking you right
lively.
now, Hargeet.
That's all right. Go ahead. I know you want to read that. Retri, go
no,
right
it's
ahead.
fine. I just wanted to mention we did talk about this earlier. I think it was maybe before you got in here, Scarlett. We did mention that the gamers lawsuit, right? Which is really the lawyer's lawsuit, apparently, which from what I've understand. So that's I think that's kind of like almost like the FTC as a whole. It's almost like a non-issue. Like I don't even like bring it up to FTC because I think it's such a joke and their case is so loosey-goosey.
They're not even bipartisan.
They're not even like, I'm not even worried about them.
I mean, that Crispy is a basis for a failure for the FTC right there, right?
100%.
They have no Republican voice at all.
I mentioned that a long time ago on Boom's podcast. I thought this was complete BS that that is allowed to even happen. That they should immediately try to get some other people in there. But hey, it is what it is.
I'm gonna go just a smidge political real quick. Is that all I'm going to say is that I've been an independent since I was 18 years old. Since I went to school and they taught me how to vote. Okay, I chose independent. Do you know why? Because I look at both of them and I say, I say they are stupid. But the one thing that people ignore is that if you really think about it, everybody thinks the East is Democrat. Back when actual civil rights and everything else were being fought about, the Northeast was Republican. Okay. Yeah. And that's where I go and say, like, I have to sit here and like completely analyze everything that I see at this point. And something like this, like the way they're acting, and keep in mind, like Microsoft's always been like, pro whatever up until, like the 90s. Like after the 90s, they were like, do whatever. We don't care. Like they started charging, like you used to buy like Windows and everything else for like $70, $80. Then you pay like $5 a month, get the cloud involved. Like you start seeing the value, you just don't see it yet. So it's a nice thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they threw them to the curb. They said, cybersecurity, that's not a big deal. And they went with some like third party company, and then everything fell apart for like a week and a half, and then all of a sudden Microsoft's back there, and we're like, well, yeah, I mean, they've done a pretty good job the whole time, and now this stuff actually matters. Oh, great. The foresight of Microsoft is sometimes too much, but at the same time, like right now, like I look at it and I'm like, dude, like cloud, I mean, Hargeet said it a million times. Like it could be irrelevant at some point, very soon. You know what I'm saying? I
mean,
like,
I agree with Hargeet. Like, if you killed cloud tomorrow, would anyone notice? Like,
or what if it's the future of gaming as we know it? 10 years from now, everything's in the cloud, and there's nothing.
I mean, especially
else.
With those deals, Nvidia's getting all of them.
Right?
Ubis and what was the other one? Moosteroid, and there's N-Wave. Is that the other one?
Yes.
I'm sure there'll be more deals, right?
There will be more, right? That you've never heard of. Never heard of these companies. It's it is what it is. Dave, you got anything else you want to add onto this before we move on to the next subject? Or
I think what do they say? We beat this dead horse enough. But seriously, I've absolutely enjoyed all of you guys talking and the chat chiming in. This has been a great topic. I know some people get tired of this and that, but right now, people, this is gaming. This is important, to the future of gaming as to what happens here. So So that's why we talk about it, and that's why hopefully that's why y'all have tuned in. 113 people so far right now. So it's great having you guys here. I'm digging it, man. I'm loving it. Yes, we did reach the goal on this channel of over 1,000 subscribers.
1,000, baby.
Thanks to everybody that helped us get there. I've been asked if we're going to do super chats and memberships and all that kind of stuff. In the future, we still have a few more little hurdles to get over, which actually probably in the next couple of weeks we'll meet those hurdles. And once that gets done, we will set that up. But to be honest, we still, even if we do have super chats and that kind of stuff in the future, that'll be great. But we still want to be able to bring in, we don't want your money. We want you to participate. That's basically what this 100%. Is about. You know what I mean? And having such great guests like Hargeet Chani and Crispybomb here with their amazing voices. These guys have been in the community a long time. And Hargeet is he's got several different shows that he's on, as well as Game On Daily, which is where we first.
Hargeet's like the most famous guy for having absolutely no social media presence at all, and I have I wish I could do that. Like, oh man, much respect. That is like that's a goal. Everyone should
was
have.
Trending as well at some point. Like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
I can Google you and you'll pop right up. So good for you,
Hargeet. Too. If anybody gets a chance to watch the interview that I did with Hargeet, and I'm trying to boost that, but I mean, you find out a lot of information about Hargeet in that interview, and it's fantastic. He is a brilliant man. So that's I don't want to get him blushing, but it's true. And like I said, I feel blessed to have him on the show. So thank you, Hargeet, for being here. You big sexy man, with the big sexy beard.
Look at that beard. I'm jealous.
I know, I love it.
I could never grow anything like that. Nope, not happening.
Well, someday, Retri, you'll hit puberty. And you'll be
someday. Yeah, no. If I try to grow that, it'll come out in patches, and it's just a disaster. Anywho, we're gonna move on to the next thing, and that's the PlayStation Showcase this Wednesday. I know, guys, what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I'm the Game Pass guy. Who gives a crap about PlayStation? Well,
I got a PlayStation.
I do. I'm actually kind of excited for it. So I guess we'll just kind of round horn it. We don't have to stay on this one too long, but has anyone seen the leaks, the leak list? And I guess, what are you guys interested in? I'll start with you, Crispy. Anything that has got you interested that might come, or something that you heard is coming to the PlayStation Showcase, which, by the way, we haven't had one in I think 600 days or something ridiculous like that. So it's been a hot minute. So, Crispy, sir, what's your 2 cents about the?
I think we may want to go to Hargeet, because if you look at the private chat, he says, "I'll be right back." So.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. All right, Hargeet, take it. I totally missed that. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to be pretty good, right? They've got a couple of years worth of stuff, waiting to come out. They always have nice money hat deals, right? So I'm sure there'll be some of those. What's going to be interesting here are two big things that I'm not sure where they're going to land. There's the live service games, the games as a service stuff that they mentioned.
Yeah,
they're
gas
going to have
games,
10 of those or whatever. Are they going to start bringing those up? Are they going to start showcasing them, right? This should be like the rest of the gen. That's kind of the whole point of this show, right? Is to say, here's what the rest of the PS5 gen is going to be, right? So if that's the case, I'm expecting to see those games, right? They're saying they're going to have a bunch of them by, I think it was 2025, 6, something like that, right? So I'd expect to see some of those. I don't know how that would land, right? That's not a very normal PlayStation thing. But that's one. The other big one, and the one that I'm going to tune out on, is PSVR 2. I have no interest.
Amen. Me and you, Hargeet, I'll be sleeping during that section.
But they have to do it, right? They just put the hardware out this year. They're going to have to put something up and say, hey, this is the roadmap for all the games we're planning to bring. And if they don't, I mean, it's dead, right? It's like it already isn't doing well, but it's just dead, right? So they have to do something to bring out excitement for that. But I just have no interest in any of that.
I don't either.
I don't know.
I did for 5 seconds and then I didn't.
But I mean, unfortunately, I think they do have to spend some quality time on it. So it's probably going to be 10-15 minutes. But yeah, out of 60 minutes, that's going to be just like, okay, well, can I pass this, please? But so I expect those. And then, like their first party, like the studios that have been making all the games, I expect there's going to be something coming up with some of the older ones that we already know about. Certainly Spider-Man 2, they're going to show that and give a release date. I would expect that to happen.
Right.
But what else is happening, right? So Cory Barlog was working on a game. Is that going to be shown? Do we see the new thing that Naughty Dog is doing outside of factions, right? They're working on factions. We know that's hopefully coming maybe this year, next year, whatever, right? But that's a multiplayer thing, and maybe I know they have some other thing going on, right? So there's a new game, new IP. Bend was working on something. Could we be seeing that? There's a bunch of other ones, right? So at this point, it's 3 years in after Ghost of Tsushima. Do we see something from them, right? Is that like up? I don't know. So there's plenty of potential. I'd say Insomniac, we kind of know they may have something cool, but I mean, we already know they have Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine coming.
Right.
But the others are kind of in the dark right now. We hopefully can see a whole bunch of those. They bought some studios. Do they have things that are coming up? Haven, for instance. I think that would be a games as service. Bungie, they had something they were working on. Right. So there's some options there. Certainly they bought I always forget, is it Blue Point? I think Blue Point is the one they bought, and Bloober is the one that did.
Yeah, I keep mixing those two up too.
Games.
Blue Point,
right?
And
so
Blooper.
Blue Point, who did Demon Souls, right? And they might be working on, probably Bloodborne, but something along those lines, right?
Something,
some sort of remake or something like that. That's kind of what they do. Maybe they're doing a new IP. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah.
So I'd expect to see things like that, right? So what I'm also expecting, and I hope is PC releases, right? Because I'm PC only for them, and I'm hoping that they come up with, like, I'm still waiting for Horizon Forbidden West, Ragnarok. I know there's others like Ghost of Tsushima that haven't made it. I don't think Ratchet & Clank has made it over yet.
Yeah,
so Last of Us 2, I don't think that's made it over. Not that I have no interest in that game, but whatever. But the other ones I do want to play those, Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. So I'd be interested to see if those are going to get announced.
That's a good point. I didn't even actually really think of that. I wonder if they would do that, knowing their audience within the hour time, if they would piss everyone off by even saying that. It shouldn't piss anyone off, but what's going to. But
they're not going to say
it.
It
does seem to do that.
Release it.
Yeah, I mean, but it does seem to, just like the VR thing, right? It seems to be a part that a lot of the PlayStation fans don't seem to like, but to be honest, a lot of the other fans are actually looking forward to those things, right? So, there's plenty of PC players out there like, when one of these games coming, can I play them, right? So, I mean, they're the ones who wanted to do it, and it's making the money, so it makes sense for them to make the announcements. So they could do it there. They do have, I'm pretty sure they're going to be part of the Keighley show, so they could do it there, right? They could do it there instead of on their showcase.
Yeah, that's good.
But point. I do want to see that. I'm also curious, what are they going to do with the Keighley show? I don't know what. Maybe, I mean, there's the potential of the Kojima game, because Keighley and Kojima, right? That's going to happen, right? So it could be that Death Stranding 2 or whatever they were working. I'm going to guess it's Death Stranding 2. That will be shown there at the Keighley show, right? So that might be the Sony mixed up there. I don't know what else might be happening, but last time it was factions, right? That was what they did at the Keighley show. So. So maybe that's what you actually see is like, here's the release schedule for that. Maybe that's what they want to do there, because this is not normal. This is one of the things I don't know, like if the Sony fan base is really tuning in to watch games as a service releases. So they may want to actually go to a different venue to attract, hey, we're going to put this game everywhere because we want to attract, engagement with a lot of customers. Yeah. Because that's the point of a games as a service thing, right? So maybe that is the better place to put those games. That's just something they're gonna have to work through, right? But we'll see.
They got to pull the Band-Aid off eventually, Hargeet, right? Like they can't. I don't think they can't ignore PC side, especially when it comes to the gas games. They just can't do it.
So Jim seems to think they don't. His comment the other day was, that PC
they're not,
not
but
as
Herman Hulst
not as big a focus.
I kind of feel like you say it till you don't.
I know, isn't that weird?
You know what I mean?
I just don't see that being a good idea. If you want to, like, a game as a service, the whole point is to get as many players, right? You gotta just put it on PC ASAP.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's got to be there. But yeah, we'll see what they do.
Crispy, what do you think? Anything that's
a
exciting?
whole bunch of third-party things are gonna happen. You're
Yeah,
gonna see those mic drops. We money headed.
Oh
this,
yeah,
money headed this,
100%.
money headed this, money headed this.
Are you talking about?
We keep hearing about Konami.
You get a car. You get a car. We money headed you. We money headed you.
You get an exclusive. You get an exclusive. You get
exactly.
Hey, Retri, give him the question again, real quick. Give Crispy the question.
Oh, Crispy, yeah. So we're talking obviously the PlayStation Showcase coming up this Wednesday. Anything that you've seen leaked or anything that is interesting you? Are you going to watch it? Like, what's your kind of take about this showcase that's coming up? Anything that is piquing your interest, sir?
I'm going to leave it pretty simple. I was a PlayStation gamer for, I'd say now I've been an Xbox gamer for 2 years more than PlayStation. PlayStation 1, 2, and then I rode the 2 for a long time. Back then you could do that. They released games on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 for a long time. And then I saw Gears. And that's the end of the discussion.
That was that.
I played the game. I chainsaw somebody once.
So good, was it?
That's the first thing was converted.
I couldn't believe what I did and what I saw on the screen, and it had converted me. But it converted me because PlayStation lost sight of what they used to be pretty darn good at, which is multiplayer. They used to be pretty darn good at it. And they started questioning themselves, and they went to the single player, which, I mean, I understand. I get it. Like, some people haven't been through the years where I played by myself in front of my own screen and had nobody to talk to and nothing to do. But yeah, pause. Yeah.
Sorry.
but you really look at it, and I really like SOCOM deserves another chance. It really does.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Great game.
Yep.
That might be one of their gas-starved games, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, I mean, that would be logical. Okay. It still has a following. I mean, look at me. I'm an Xbox gamer now, but still I have love for that game because that made me a multiplayer gamer. Like that game online was incredible. And trust me, it sucked compared to what we play now. Okay. Like it was terrible. You know what I mean? Like it was one of the worst games I've ever played if I look at it now. All right. But back then,
it was the shit.
It was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but baby. And it's one of those things that I want them to go back to bringing us some single player story like they used to do and multiplayer, greatness that they did. Yeah. And I get it. Like, people just want to see single player. I understand that. This is what you're used to until your kid picks it up and they're like, well, I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like literally my stepson, whatever you want to call him, is going to be 16 in 2 days. And all he cares about is playing with people that he enjoys playing with. And this is on PC, by the way, not Xbox or PlayStation. This is completely on PC. He has played Grounded till no end. He has played No Man's Sky till no end. He has played Subnautica till no end.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
And he is completely looking forward to what happens with Ark 2. He is so into that. It's crazy. And he's playing all these games on PC. PC matters, PlayStation. It does.
Yeah. It
okay. Does. I hate when they call me a peasant because I'm like, yo, like, bro, like I could buy your PC tenfold over just with what I put in my truck the other day. I'm just saying, You know what I mean? Like $1,400. Like, yeah, this is a little smidgen of what I spend to keep myself going to work and keep the money coming in. And that's what I think about. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, PC has a huge part of where we're at now. They're so modular now, yet they're easy to build compared to what we used to deal with. Yeah. Like I tried to build a PC from the ground up back in like, I'd say like 99 or something like that. And it was, no, just going to buy the pre-build. I'm good. Like it was too much back then. We're in a different time. And I feel like Sony's like completely ignoring a huge part of what they could have, because they do have great looking games. They look great. I will challenge people that say they play great, all of them. I do not believe that.
We know that. Well, we know that's BS.
You know,
we've seen the stuff online.
The quick time events, like all this nonsense that, you know, like I've already been past, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I look for, like, you know, like, okay, like maybe something's pissing me off in the single player. I can go to the multiplayer in your game. You know what I'm saying? It's happened with Xbox plenty of times. I'm not sitting here and saying that they're perfect, but it's like, you know, like you can go to another part of the game and they've lost that. Like you have one singular, like, I mean, third person. I mean, for the love of God, like how many of them use bow and arrow? Like, come on.
I know there was a comparison.
Like, you know, really funny like, though. I kind of love watching those videos that kind of like, look, the game's exactly the same. Arrow, arrow, arrow. Like, it is pretty funny.
And I'm not taking away from what people like. My point is that I want to see them nail it on all aspects. Like, yes, you're going to have Spider-Man and it's going to be single player, which I'm cool with because it's open world, single player. You have a lot of things to do. We're at that point where like you need something else to do. Like you could speed run it if you really want to. You could be that person that's completionist like I am and just go for every side mission and try to build your character into godlike form. Like that's the way I look at games sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And you can also kind of go in between there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And like that's fine, but there's certain games that you come out with, like you're going to bring out Last of Us remake and not have factions a part of it. I mean, if we're going to call out Gears and Halo and say, well, you separated this or you did this or that, or, you know, the reviewer is going to separate this. Well, what happens when a game comes out that is like ridiculously scored and is really half the game of what it was? I mean, what do we look at it? Like you're going to sit here and argue with me about it? Like, oh, well, it's not the same, but it is the same. It's like,
that's right.
It's like if Gears of War Ultimate Edition, when it came out, didn't have multiplayer. Think about that. And that's where I leave that.
From Tuku. Thank you, Crispy. Tuku says, just seeing a Street Fighter advert. I didn't know a runoff of Azure servers. Yep. I see Microsoft are focusing on the bigger picture. I like that. Yeah, exactly. Hey, they're getting their money no matter what. You know what I mean? So,
Retri, what are your thoughts?
So, I mean, I am looking forward to this. I do think Sony will bring the heat, which is good, right? Because when Sony does good, then I expect Microsoft to answer, even though whatever's happening on Microsoft's stage is already preset and done. But who knows? Maybe it can be tweaked a little bit on the Xbox side where they'll, you know, kick it up a notch or something. But I don't really care about the Last of Us factions. I've been hearing it forever. You know, that doesn't really move the needle for me personally.
Well, you've been hearing about factions 2 forever.
Okay, sorry, factions 2. Factions 2. You're right. Let me clarify that. Factions 2. Twisted Metal is probably one of the ones that move the needle for me. if it's true, like Fire Sprite's working on it. I don't follow PlayStation news very well, so I could get things wrong here. But I'm also kind of excited for Pragmata, which I'm pretty sure, I think we discussed this the other day too, Hargeet, that this is supposed to be everywhere from Capcom. It looks like a very weird Kojima-esque game to me that it could be total trash. I don't know. I'm just, it looks it looks interesting to me. Silent Hill 2, of course. I'm interested in the IP. Not too excited about who's doing it. I'm not a big Blooper Team fan. Konami, it can be hit or miss for me personally, but it's Silent Hill, and like I'm gonna be definitely watching out for that one. And another one that we saw, at least in the leaks, and I hope this is true, and there was rumors about this being true a long time ago, and that was for an Astros full-fledged game to exist. I absolutely loved Astros. I thought it was excellent. I know a lot of people make fun of it, whatever. It was, you're basically blowing your PS5 controller. Ha ha ha. That's funny. I get it. But I think it's a solid character. I think it's a really fun game. So there's supposed to be this thing called Astros Conquest, which was supposed to be from Team Asobi in a full-blown game. So I'm excited for that. You guys can make fun of me. That's fine. And I think some of the leaks said something like Hades 2 will be out there, which is pretty cool. But I'm excited, of course, about Sucker Punch and Ghost of Tsushima Part 2, which is supposed to be Ghost of Kumakara. I'm sure I just butchered that. I can't really read it too well.
This is all from that game, right?
Yeah, I'm taking what I.
We don't know if those leaks are true, right?
We're just no. Yeah. I'm totally This is all. Get on your tinfoil hats. This is speculation. This is based off of leaks and what I think probably is true. I mean, Sucker Punch has got to be working on something. They made an excellent, one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen in Ghost of Tsushima. So I would expect there to be a part 2 for that. I don't remember the sales of that, so I'm not sure if it sold well or not from them. But I know I enjoyed it.
I'd say 5 million.
That's what I feel like. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I feel like it's somewhere in there. You could be right, Crispy.
Yeah, but I mean, it does visually look good. I don't know, like
not for you.
I feel I feel like like I got to go and play Ghost of Tsushima 1 before I play 2.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like a Plague's Tale or something like that. Like I don't know, like.
Well, okay. To be fair, I did not play the first Plague Tale, and I loved the second one. It's that good. But I see what you're saying. Like, if you want to kind of get the full gamut and the full story,
full scope,
of
the situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because it did remind me, like, at times of like Tenchu, and I played Tenchu 1, 2, and Wrath of Heaven. Wrath of Heaven's the best. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Wrath of Heaven is one of the best. It is so like what Ghost of Tsushima is now that it's just insane. Like self-righteousness, like being against the the will of you're more for the will of the people than the will of what could like control you, and like that's exactly what Tenchu was like for years. And I don't know, dude, like I feel like you're probably right, because they got to hit that stealth driven third person, like it's Assassin's Creed, for the love of God. Like, come on. Like, I'm not like stupid. Like, dude, that's what I see with Sony's games. It's fine. I get it. You like it. I don't hate you for it. Okay. People hate me for loving multiplayer. Okay.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you so much.
It's weird, dude. Like, it's like, come on, like, relax. Like, yes, it looks better. I understand that. But like, I've been playing 60 FPS for years now just by playing Gears. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not call that stupid stuff out. Let's call out what you like in the game. And I feel like people don't do that. They'll be like, oh, this is the greatest looking game ever. And they'll take a couple screenshots and then they didn't play half of it. And then they'll be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. And it's like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, all I see is like screenshots or like pictures. Like, dude, I'll play you gameplay. Like, what are you doing? Like, dude, like Gears 5 is one of the top-notch, greatest looking games ever seen. But does it play the way I want it to? Nope. I'll admit that to the day I die.
Yeah.
Until it does, okay. You know, then they changed. But it's a multiplayer game, and that's the difference. These are single-player games we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, the next
I want that showcase to have multiplayer games.
The next one was Killzone, and this is why when I look at this list, I go, "Oh, that might have made it BS." I don't know if that's real.
Garbage, dude. It's also just made up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do think some of these things are real because look, when you throw everything against the wall, something's going to stick. Some of these things are obviously going to happen. We know Twisted Metal is a thing. Like that's not Pragmata is a thing. We already know. But you know, some of this stuff.
Well, we'll be here at the showcase. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like anyone can make these lists. We've said that before, but I just
did have an amazing story, and it involved co-op multiplayer, which was
I mean, I'd love to see it come back and you know be the next hit for them, but we'll see. And of course, I'm looking forward to Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Killzone's the Horizon team, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you think they go back
Firewalk.
to that, or do you think they would?
I don't know.
Do something new,
see,
or
that's
continue Horizon.
I mean, maybe they have
that's
somebody, another
question.
part of their team break off and work on something.
Yeah, I don't know how big the team is, so I don't know if it's one of those deals where they can split. Which Crispy chose violence today.
No, think about it. They've already released it with consoles like
I know
months after.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that failed in sales for them. There's no doubt.
Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah.
You know, so like, why not go back to your roots? Like dude, like Killzone 2 was an amazing online game, and the entire game was so good, dude.
That's what I want back.
Once you got into the story, you're like, wow. And it was first person, and I am not a huge first person fan, but man, that game, it felt visceral, it felt real, it felt like it could happen, and that's what I look for a story, man. Like sometimes you got to just like sit there and be like, man, this could really happen. Like if all these things transpired, it could happen. And that's a good story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So question for you guys.
Go ahead.
Do you see a potential for a large AAA game PSVR? What do you think?
I do see potential for it because I think if they want to make it hit, they need to make something big like that.
Right?
Almost
they
feels
need
like they have
Half-Life
to.
Alex, right? They need something like that.
Well, that is on there.
I
was gonna mention Half-Life Alex, but I mean that seems like I could definitely see Half-Life Alex happening.
I'm sure they could port it over or whatever, right? If Valve wants to do it.
Yeah, that's what I guess. Are you asking a port or ground up game?
Property? Would they take a Sony property? They did it with Call of the Mountain, which I wouldn't call AAA.
I wouldn't call that right.
Sorry.
I would call it AAA.
Would they take a big AAA and say, we're going to make that VR?
Good. They could. I mean,
I don't know.
The way
it's
VR
so
is
hard. It's so
asking,
niche.
I think they should do it.
Can I go kind of left field real quick?
Make it quick.
I can do that. Well, then I'm just not going to.
I'm just playing with you, man. I'm just playing, dude. I'm playing.
Hargeet, think about this. All right. I mean, how many Halo Infinites, if you really think about it, like the way the game looked, like single player and everything else, how many Halo Infinites do you get in VR? You understand what I'm saying? So like they
Half-Life
like Call the Mountain,
Alex. That's it. There's one.
Well, no. But that's what I'm saying. Like Call of the Mountain is like their crux, okay? And I'll tell you right now, like the kid has the Quest 2. He's had it forever. He plays it every once in a while now. He's kind of grown out of it. You know, he's going to be 16. But I told him, I was like, look, I'm talking a year down, like your next birthday. What do you think about this PSVR 2? And he looked at me and said, I saw Call of the Mountain. I said, yeah, I might as well play Beat Saber. And I was like, say what? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, like this is like last gen like mechanics. It's like you might as well be like the original Quest. And that's the way it looks. And this is on the TV, by the way, but he has zero interest. It's not like sitting there like trying to be like, because he's a VR person. He's like, no, I'm good. And I look at that and I say, okay, so how do you make something like so visceral? Like imagine like playing Dead Island 2.
Oh yeah.
In VR, that type of thing, like where it gets visceral and like you're literally hacking somebody's head off, and it's some zombie, whatever it may be, but still, that's the feeling you get, and you're in first person originally. I think there's a lot of games like Halo Infinite that could be ported to VR in some way, shape, or form, and just made better for that experience. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I go and say, like, Microsoft doesn't have to come out with a VR headset. What they need to do is start thinking about VR in a different realm and be like, hey, could we make a game that's really cool? Like you play like Blair Witch Project in VR. You play this game like Bloober Teams, maybe that game's in VR. Yeah. Maybe Silent Hill is in VR. That's what I'm trying to say. If it's in VR, I'm going to tell you right now, that shit will mess with my head. You know what I mean? Like,
can I make a quick comment on that,
about.
Crispy? And just and I don't know if anybody else has any numbers on this. And I see your point, and it definitely would be cool, and it definitely would cause people to want to get VR. Microsoft seems to be holding off until VR is actually viable, and Sony's introduction of the newest VR with the cost of it, and the which we call the acceptance of it right now, the people are using
super
it
niche
is too low for them to put money into to making a VR game. It's not viable as an overall. Now someday if it becomes cheap. Maybe
Microsoft once again is going to think too far ahead. They have been selling their AR headsets for a few years now. I think they want to release around we'll say $650 price point of an AR VR hybrid, and they would do that. And they would release it, and it would be like, like connectable to PC, connectable to your Series X, your Series S, whatever is going to transpire after. I'm talking a few years down the road.
Yeah.
But they would do that because at the end of the day, once wireless gets to 5G, which they have always invested in, by the way. A lot of people don't realize that. They have always invested in 5G, and that's where the cloud gaming comes into aspect.
Yeah.
They would say, okay, like you could wear this headset wherever the hell you want. I think that's where Phil's at. Like, we are not tethered to something. You can have a better experience if you're tethered to it. But that doesn't mean it can't be used outside of that realm. And I think that's where they're going. I mean, the AR headsets are still being sold.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The augmented reality
to the military.
There.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
For $19 billion.
That's why you see the UK and the American government, like the parliament and the Congress or the House just being like, dude, what are you doing? Like, these guys are actually helping us. Like, what is your problem? Like, you know what I mean? Like, people that have been like, there's a lot of Congress people, there's a lot of probably parliament people that have been in the military. and they're like, dude, like they have made my life easier in some way.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
All right,
So
I gotta jump in here. I gotta jump in here real quick. I got a couple things we gotta want a little housekeeping real quick. Just so everybody knows what's going on. First of all, thank you to over the 150 people that are in chat right now. Thank you all so much for being here. Greatly appreciate that so much. And shout out to all the people in the chat. There's so many, I can't even name them right now. So we will promise you to get better at doing those kind of things in the future. But not to cut you off, Crispy, I apologize for that. But I do want to mention on this subject of the showcase that's going on for next. I guess it's coming up on Thursday. It's like Wednesday, 3 days away.
Wednesday.
Which is the state of play that Sony's putting out. I just wanted to let everybody know that next week's show, following that, in other words, next Sunday's episode, we are going to have on as special guest, which already confirmed. We are going to have on BitCloud. And we are also going to have on Mr. Badbit. Both are PlayStation centric, I guess, community members. They're both, all of them have been on Boom Show as well as their own shows, and they'll be able to really get in a little deeper on that particular aspect. Plus, Retro, we have another guest that's going to be there next week too.
Absolutely.
What's her name?
Red Dead Panda. You guys might know her around the community, and she is very vocal and very Xbox, so she can balance us out a little bit.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
She's awesome. I was just on her podcast not too long ago, and I loved her, so I had to invite her on. She's great.
Right. Sounds great.
So,
just to let everybody know that the next week's show is, and tonight's show is, oh my gosh, it's been absolutely amazing, off the hook and crazy. We're not done yet. We still got about 25 minutes to go. If these guys can stick around, which Hargeet, Crispy, I absolutely love having you guys both on. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, both of you. Crispy's like, oh, look at me with Hargeet. Yes, because you are awesome, mister. Don't ever forget that, buddy. Love you, Crispy. So, RHETRI, what are we going to talk about now?
Yeah, so the next thing is kind of exciting, in my opinion, is rumor Alan Wake 2 coming in October. Now, why would I say Alan Wake 2 is coming in October? Is it a rumor, or is it because maybe somebody spilled the beans?
Tell you, just one of my personal all-time favorite games is Alan Wake. So when it comes to your voice acting work, did that just happen naturally through working, or was it something you made an effort to pursue?
I've been working on it. That's supposed to come out in October. We're in the middle of working on it now. In fact, I was just in Finland last week. That's where the company is from, Remedy. Amazing people.
So that is Matthew Peretta, obviously the voice of Alan Wake, spilling the beans on that podcast, which I just thought was awesome. I'm a big Alan Wake fan. I love the original. Guys, do you think this is going to possibly hit in October? I mean, it kind of makes a lot of sense for it to hit in October, since it's supposed to. Halloween. Apparently, yeah. So apparently Remedy is going way more horror in this game. They thought Alan Wake 2 was a little too actiony, so apparently they're going to lean into the horror, which I'm all about. So any Alan Wake fans in the room, anyone excited for this? I'll start with you, Hargeet. What are your feelings about October and all this news?
I mean, I finished Alan Wake 1. I thought it was good enough. I like Remedy is hit or miss for me. I don't know. It was
fair
enough. I actually like Quantum Break a lot more than
yeah,
Wake.
It's a great game.
I did not like Control.
I didn't either. Okay, I don't.
There's something about it.
Didn't hit.
So yeah, they're hit or miss. This could be good. It just depends on how they go with it. Like, I'm gonna guess, because it seems to be every other one, that maybe I will like it, but we'll see. It makes a lot of sense though. October is the right time. I think Redfall should have come out in October, been a bit more polished. But anyway, whatever. But either way, like, so yeah, I think it makes sense for this kind of game to be in October. Hopefully, it's ready to go. That is another thing we've been plagued with a lot of the games nowadays. Is they don't come out finished, and yeah, hopefully this one will be ready to go. If these are the graphics, that's pretty impressive, right? So hopefully it'll be like that, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Crispy. What do you think? Are you a horror fan? I mean, you were just talking about a bunch of horror games for VR, so I'm guessing this might be up your alley. Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong.
Well, I set you up for that. Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, Remedy is so hit or miss at this point. I
feel like a lot of people say that. Yeah.
I really don't care. I don't.
So Max Payne didn't move the needle for you. Quantum Break, Alan Wake, none of that. Control, you didn't. Nothing.
And their best game, Crossfire X.
I didn't want to mention.
Thank you, Hargeet.
I forgot about that
Thank you. Amazing.
Hargeet coming out with the slander of the Crossfire X. Yeah, I mean he's not wrong.
Seriously. Like, come on, like. You know, like you look at their games and it's like super hit or miss. It really is. So, I mean, will I pick it up at $10? Like, 6 months after it comes out? Sure. Why not? And
I feel so alone on this panel right now.
What if it's included in Game Pass?
Well, it won't be because it was marketed by Sony, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
My girlfriend is a huge horror buff. She loves that type of stuff. She played Alan Wake 1 when they redid their whole thing in Xbox. And she was like, "Nah, I'm good. This is stupid. It's scary at times, but it's just not. It's so like, doing things that you feel are unnecessary. Like, you're setting me off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where, like, maybe they make it better. I'm all for that. I mean, I'm
so sad.
I'll watch her play it.
Oh man, I thought someone was going to be with me on the Alan Wake 2.
She's played Blair Witch. She's played freaking Medium. She's
Thank you, Daniel. Put that up here. Put Daniel's thing up there. Remedy is go to get out of here. That's right, Daniel.
Except
for Control. I don't know. I didn't like that one.
She's literally said that Bloober Team is better.
Oh my God. Okay, Crispy. She just lost all credibility, my friend.
Now.
Listen, to each her own. To each her own. It's fair. Y'all don't want Alan Wake 2. Well, once you mention Blooper, I'm going to have to say something. Remember Medium? The Medium game? Yeah. Come on now.
I actually like that one.
She actually played that more.
Oh, jeez. All right.
She played that more. She played that more than Alan Wake 1. She played that more.
I finished that.
So was she? Yeah, I'm with you on that, Hargeet. I did the same thing. Scorn. I mean, maybe Scorn. Throw that out there with anyone was a Scorn fan? No, not a bit. Nobody. I wasn't either. I'm just
that one yet.
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well, you're not missing much. It's atmospheric.
She liked jump scares, and she didn't like Alan Wake. She didn't. She hated it.
Fair enough.
I look at her and she's about that life. Like
she's about that life.
I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I do my thing. Like I'll play multiplayer games. Like we'll whoop each other's butt in MK11 or something. Like I don't. Like I'll watch her play it. Like she's nasty at Crash Bandicoot. She's probably one of the best I've ever seen. And
Slow-mo out here spitting facts. Blooper Team has never made a good game. I'll take hit or miss over never a hit. LOL. Oh, Slow-mo with the slander. Well, when you're right, you're right.
She was like kind of like dancing around her head about Blair Witch.
Yeah.
But
I never played that. So I don't know. The Medium was mid. Yeah, I mean the Medium. I do know people who like the Medium. Like I want to sit here and like crap on Blooper Team, but I don't know. I for some reason finished it. I don't know why. I also finished Scorn, so that was a little torturous. But
still a good game.
It was there to play. I played it. Dave, what are your? Save me, Dave. Did you like Alan Wake? Or are you
the original? Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
I've got it and the collector's edition both. Yeah. So Yep, the remaster or whatever it's called. So I liked it. Was it the best game ever? No, but was it worth playing? Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked the atmospheric. I can't say the word.
Atmosphere. I'm with you. The atmosphere is great in
with
that
the
game.
with the flashlight. It looked really cool. It was really
Burning
well
up the
done
enemies.
for an early game like that. Yeah, it was. I liked it, and while I played the new one, if it becomes on something available free,
that's cheaper.
Or I'm just kidding. Yeah, or my son finds a hack. What? Just kidding.
Right,
but no, just saying. But yeah, that's something I wouldn't mind trying out for sure. But is it? Am I looking forward to it? Not really. But the guy probably signed an NDA, and for whatever reason, he had either a brain fart or something, and I'm sure he heard back from that afterwards. Of course, we'll find out come October if anything drops. Cool. If it doesn't, then it's like, well, maybe he meant next October. So
yeah, I don't think it's I wouldn't be surprised if it is this October. But I don't think it's a problem for Remedy because, it's Alan Wake and they teased it a while ago. So I think it could be real and they haven't pulled it either. Like they would, if it was an issue, there's already been a bunch of articles written about this. I think they would have pulled it from the podcast or after them or something, and it's not pulled yet. So I have a feeling that this is perfectly fine with Remedy and maybe this is, it's probably true. So, you would know.
What are your thoughts on it though, Retro? Are you, is this a game you're like, I have to have it or what?
100%. 100%. Okay. I will buy this day one. I was a big fan of Alan Wake. I like you said, I'm a big atmosphere guy. When the atmosphere pulls me in, kind of like Elden Ring, a lot of their atmospheres I thought were excellent. Alan Wake was very great atmosphere. I really liked story, and I'm super excited to see how they're going to lean into less action, more survival horror. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it won't. I don't like paying $70 for a game, so hopefully it won't be 70, but it'll probably be 70. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, and the more horror games, the better in my life. So I'm all about it. But
there you go. So, and now I know we have at least one more subject that we want to touch on tonight. We got about 15 minutes left or so, roughly.
Yeah.
And as we start to wrap things up, Crispy stepped away for a minute, but he'll be back. But we can go ahead and move on to this subject. Oh, welcome back.
He back.
So we can definitely. I know you want to play. It's a clip to play, and it's something that I'm extremely excited about, and I believe everybody else is going to be excited about it too.
I think so. I would hope so, right? Yeah.
Do it.
Well, he dropped the hit.
Do it. Turn the volume up on this one. Crank it up first time through, and that was practical effects. So, but man, this game. So, we'll start with Hargeet, if you don't mind. I'm glad. Welcome back, RHETRI. But Hargeet, let's get your views on this. Are you excited for this? What do you think about it?
I'm not the biggest on the fighting games. I played a heck of a lot of Street Fighter 2. It was a very big game for me. And I never really got much into Mortal Kombat. I played it here and there, but never really got into it. It certainly looks really good. So I'll probably give it a try. But yeah, Street Fighter is the one that I'm more interested in. I know we're getting this and the Tekken, and we're getting Street Fighter. I don't know which other ones might be coming out, but yeah. So it seems to be the year for fighters, I guess. We also, I guess, at some point we'll get back. Was it Multiverses? Did that come out this year or last year? Because they took it away, they're bringing it back. That was the Warner Brothers.
I thought it was last year.
Yeah. So apparently that might come back at some point, right? So as a full release, right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird what they're doing.
So yet another one, right? So, it does seem to be like the fighter year, right? So, that was certainly an interesting trailer, though. It's a pretty crazy looking trailer.
Pretty gory.
I don't know what the actual game is going to look like, right? That's all CG, right? But if it's coming soon, I'm expecting on one of these stages we're going to see it, right? Whether it's Microsoft, Sony, or Keeley's, we're gonna see this game.
Yeah.
So there'll probably hopefully be actual gameplay if it's coming out that soon.
Don't be surprised if Sony gets the marketing for this one as well.
Or maybe Xbox will.
Yeah, that would
they
be
got
nice.
Street Fighter,
marketing rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Street Fighter, right? Sony has Street Fighter already.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So unless they did that, I think they did. I think it was
Marketing
on their
rights. Yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah. So and then so that leaves Tekken, which we saw that on Keeley's. Is that right?
Mhm.
I think we saw that on Keeley, so that was neutral. So yeah, it could be neutral for this one as well. It could be Microsoft, right? You know, a little bit of a back and forth. That'd be kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, but WB has recently been doing a lot more marketing with Sony than they have been with Microsoft. It's time for Microsoft to go fix that, I think. But,
exactly.
We're right there with you, Hargeet. Absolutely.
So, but Microsoft, if you're doing it, skip Suicide Squad. Just don't
just pretend it doesn't exist.
Just skip that one.
It might be good. Let it come out and play it.
Poor Dave. He was so ready for that game.
Yeah, no.
There's a chance.
So that's kind of no.
He's like, no, you're wrong.
I'll tell you more about it later. No.
I'll tell you why opinions can be wrong.
Behind the scenes.
But anyway, so
I'm just kidding.
That's really where my head's at. I mean, it's yet another of the many games coming. This year is just so crazy.
It is. it's definitely bananas.
Love crazy.
But yeah, so interesting trailer. Good way to start, right? What the heck? It'll be interesting to see how these do against each other, right? So Street Fighter hasn't usually had a lot of story. Looks like maybe they kind of have that now because you have a career path, right? So maybe there's something there. So we'll see how that goes. And then, we got this and the Tekken coming. Yeah, it's an interesting year.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Crispy, what are you thinking about this, buddy?
Mortal Kombat!
I don't have a song, so yeah. That it? That's all you got, Crispy?
Yeah, that was.
I mean, seriously, like, I don't know. I grew up with Mortal Kombat. They continue to one-up themselves.
Yeah.
And I caution people to say that's completely CG.
Well, really?
It is. The one part where you pull out, they grab the eyes and they pull it out.
And
then,
that could be in game. That could be in game. I could see that.
I mean, they're okay. They've done X-ray. They've done blood, full on. Why not combine the two? And they haven't, like, X-ray really came from like games I played years ago. I brought up Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. Yeah, like the X-ray with the bones and everything. Yeah, that was in that game. A lot of people don't realize that. It was incredible back then. And they did the full-on X-ray, and it hit, but it didn't hit quite that well. So you add the blood and gore of MK11 with the X-ray at times, and on top of that, Raiden is not. Did we see Raiden in that trailer?
I don't remember. Was Raiden in there?
No?
I think maybe he was in there for a millisecond. I don't remember.
I saw Kung Lao.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't see Raiden. I would say that Liu Kang is the new Raiden. That's why they went back to MK1. Because technically, if you go off of what they've done.
Spoiler alert.
Well, no.
For all those who didn't finish 11.
Yeah, you gotta. I didn't finish 11.
Yeah, if you don't know about it,
I know.
Oh,
I know what happened. Liu Kang is a god, and he will step in. Remember, Raiden used to step in when ish hit the fan. Okay, that's exactly what you saw, and we saw a new Shang Tsung, who might be different. Who might be able to beat Liu Kang at any time. You really think about it, it's pretty incredible. And you have those ultimates or whatever you want to call them that you go and take somebody from being X-ray to being, bloody and broken and dead. That's Mortal Kombat. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we have seen where Nintendo said no, Sega said yes. The blood and gore was so simplistic and ridiculous. It was just insane. And we've gotten to the point where you don't want the game, don't buy it. If you think it's too crazy, don't buy it. It's going to be rated M for mature because that's what Mortal Kombat does. And if you think Street Fighter's great, go actually learn the combos of Mortal Kombat. I've played over 2,000 games of Mortal Kombat 11. Okay? I've lost more than half of them. Do you know why I've lost more than half of them?
Because you're bad at the game, obviously.
I'm not bad at the game. I pick rando.
Okay,
I play other people, and I do not want to hurt their feelings, so I pick rando. I don't pick Noob Saibot. That's probably number 1, or number 2 would be Jade, or number 3 would be a Katana, or number 4 would be freaking Baraka. Like I'm a nut. Like you could ask anybody that's ever actually played me multiple times. I figure out the controls and everything else, and I figure it out. I don't know, man. Like having that different aspect, maybe they go back a little bit and say, okay, you have to do a certain thing to make it happen instead of just being on, your deathbed to make it happen.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So, I look at this and I say they're changing it up a little bit. They're not. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
If you want to play around a little bit, okay. I mean, you could say what you want, but from what I see from people playing Street Fighter right now, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I played Soul Calibur. Everybody remember Soul Calibur? How about Virtual Fighter? I played the 3D. I played the 3D aspects. I don't like them as much as I like MK and even Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? So you might see me pick up, or it might be at a discount, but I might pick up a Street Fighter.
Yeah,
because that's old school to me. And you know what? I don't hate nobody that don't like no old school. I knew that would come to a point. Like, I'm a certain age. Eventually, you're gonna be like, I don't like that. I want the 3D stuff. Even Tekken has gone 3D and then to 2D again and then back to 3D. Like Microsoft and what they do, like Killer Instinct, like we wanted NetherRealm to make Killer Instinct. It didn't happen.
Sorry.
It didn't happen though. Right? So I mean, as of now, I'm good with whatever NetherRealm does.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Ed Boon is still the head of the studio.
I'm still waiting for them to do a remake, a new version 4K of Clay Fighters. Then I'll be happy. Just kidding. Hargeet smile. You remember Clay Fighters?
It was a fun game. I actually played that. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun game.
Oh goodness. I tell you, the Star Wars, the fighting game they did, the Star Wars. I can never pronounce the name of it. It's got a weird title to it, but you could actually it was a fighting game, but it was like with Luke and Vader and all the Star Wars characters were in there. It was on PlayStation. It was,
my God.
It has a weird title.
It's not coming to me right now. Someone in the chat will probably know.
I'm sure probably somebody will know, but I still have that. I love it. So,
Not a fighting game, not a real fighting game.
No, it was a real fighting game.
No,
Mister. I'm just playing.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of. It's kind of neat that they're almost doing like a Marvel multiverse type of thing to bring Mortal Kombat, calling it one. It's just, I mean, it's like they're starting over and going in a like a new direction, like kind of Crispy was mentioning. If you played 11, yeah, I mean, if you played 11, you know exactly why this is doing exactly what it's doing. If you play the story,
think about this. Everybody hated the Mortal Kombat movie 2. What is it? What the hell?
The last one that just came out.
I liked it. It was actually pretty good.
No, the original Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, I love
movie.
The original part 2 is pretty bad.
Not as good as the first.
But think about it.
Think
about it. It's the same thing that damn freaking Avengers and all these
right.
You know, like think about it. Disney has really enveloped that, because if you really look at the movie, it is the same damn thing. You are traveling back in time and forth in time and going into different dimensions.
Soul Calibur,
stuff like that.
That was it.
No. Soul Calibur.
That's not the one you were talking about?
No. It was an actual Star Wars game on the PlayStation 1 that actually had all the characters from Star Wars, and it's a fighting game. I cannot think of the name to save my life, but it is.
Right. I thought you were talking about Soul Calibur too.
Somebody look up PlayStation. Or PlayStation 1 Star Wars fighting game, and it'll probably
back in the day.
That's
Star
it
Wars
right there.
Masters.
Okay, there it
oh
is.
yeah, I don't even remember that one. Good call out, Dark Travesty. Good call out.
Yeah, but that's it right there.
Taras Kasi, I guess. Masters of Taras.
It's like a horrible
freaking name. I don't remember that, but I'm gonna have
but
to
it was a
look
great
that up.
game. So it's worth playing if you'd never played it. Not the best game ever made by any means.
But you remember it, and you're fond of it, and that's all that matters. So you had a good time
in several different places. But as we go ahead and wrap things up tonight, dude, thank you to everybody for being in the chat. We still have over 115 people in the chat. Thank you so much. And on that note, I'm going to send out. This is the link to RHETRI's YouTube channel. Okay,
thank you, sir.
So it's Game Pass Daily. Please, everybody in the chat, if you don't mind, click on over if you haven't already and subscribe to his channel, because we're on the road to get him to 1K as well. So please, and
getting there.
He put out some great content. Almost every couple of days he's got something about Game Pass, all the stuff coming out, stuff that you don't necessarily think about or know. It's nice to have that, because it's like you miss out on some of the great perks, bonuses, all the kind of stuff. He is all over it and lets you know when things are going out. I know Hargeet is really big on if there's something going out of Game Pass. He's like, I gotta beat that before it leaves. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's worth it, and he helps you keep track of all that stuff. So definitely please do us all a favor and go over there and subscribe to that. He is obviously the co-host of this show, but he's definitely a good friend and a really good content provider. So we appreciate you. And of course, I want to thank both of our panel members tonight. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And I would also like to, start with Hargeet to tell everybody where they can find you and what shows you are on right now, because it's a lot and I love it. And you have a new one coming out too. Want to hear about that too?
I do. So yeah, I'm on RDX, which is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time.
Love it.
I'm on Boom's Primetime Gaming, which is on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We're adding one on Thursday, which is going to be Zealots of Gaming. It's Zocker's channel. So that'll be Thursdays at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And then every now and then I'll be on Game On Daily Go Live, but you can check that out at any time, youtube.com/GameOnDaily. And that's on Saturdays at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And then every now and then I jump into Gaz. He just does random streams. So check his out. It's Septic Sauce is his channel. Sometimes it's looking at what happened. Sometimes it's just streaming some games. So check that out. But yeah, so
yeah, and Hargeet, you are available on Discord. So people want to
and
that is true.
The Discord thing, it's like it's hchani is the name, but then you have to put in #3935 to find me.
Well, I will have that in the description below. I do have that basic one on there, but I will add the numbers on there so people can definitely click right through and find you. So that will be in the chat. As soon as this show goes, we get finished, I will update that and make sure that's in there so everybody knows how to get a hold of you on there. And again, sir, thank you so much for answering the call
Always a
tonight.
good time, Hargeet.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
You are absolutely
Anytime.
amazing and a great member of the community, and we really do thank you so much for having you on, dude. It is awesome. And that goes to look who's in here right now. I love it. Crispybomb made it to the show. What's up, buddy?
That's right.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
You're such a dick.
Preface with
You
boom, I
made
know
it to
you're
the
on.
show. You made it to the show. Hargeet, man, you're a legend, dude.
There you go.
I mean, how are you on so many different channels?
Yeah, he is so
It
busy.
It reminds me of back in the day for me. At Crispybomb on Twitter, Crispybomb20 at Xbox Live. You can find me on Breakfast with Boom Fridays, 10 a.m. And other than that, I am a free agent now, people. So,
all right. Well,
that in
hopefully
mind.
somebody is going to scoop you up. And of course, be prepared. You will definitely get the bat signal from us again in a future podcast. So be ready.
I've
for that,
already
'cause
said that is completely
awesome.
Exactly what I want because you guys are awesome.
Thanks, man.
I mean to have
Appreciate you,
Hargeet
Crispy.
on with me at the same time. I mean,
What a
the
great
legend.
combo.
Hargeet is a legend.
He
I
is,
mean, I'm
he
sorry.
is.
He's got
He's blushing.
all the
You're making him blush.
gravitas you could ever want in a human being. You are amazing, dude. Like, I
Thank
love
you.
you, dude. Like, I anytime you're on another podcast and I watch, I'm looking for your opinion because
Exactly.
that's how
That's
damn
true,
good
dude.
you are,
Wow.
dude. I'm not even
thanks.
kidding. But I mean, RHETRI, like, like this is really the first time we've had a good
Yeah, you're right.
conversation. You
think
know
you're
what I'm
right, Crispy,
saying?
yeah.
Like, like you are just as good. You gotta
Getting
come
there.
out of your shell, bro.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I'm kidding.
Still brand new, Crispy.
Whatever.
I'm the new kid on the
Dave
block.
got me to talk about steaks, so I mean he's
I
null
did.
and void at this point. So
I
don't know.
did. We talked about
Love
the
you
best way to
guys.
cook a steak, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
I
All these
thought you
guys
meant a
have
chuck eye.
episodes. Yeah, exactly. On this channel, you can find all their interviews. So please check those out as well.
Mhm.
But again, man, RHETRI, tell everybody where they can find you as well, please, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, you can find me Game Pass _daily on Twitter and Game Pass Daily on YouTube. I gave up on TikTok because I don't know. That platform just ain't for me. And of course, here on Gamers Council every Sunday at 7 p.m. EST, and Xbox Factor podcast with Boom, Umbra, and Danny on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. EST. So thank you guys for having me. I'm so glad to be part of the show. Thank you, Hargeet. Thank you, Crispybomb, for being here tonight. It means a lot to me as the new kid on the block. And thank you, chat. You guys killed it tonight. You had so many good comments. Please come back. Next week's show is going to be huge with BitCloud, Red Dead Panda, and Bad Bit. It's going to be awesome. And we got a lot more exciting guests coming up on the show. You don't want to miss it. But thank you, Dave, of course, for having me, sir.
Well, show wouldn't be here without you, buddy.
I know.
Fact. That's a fact. Again, thank you everybody in the chat for coming out and joining us. We greatly appreciate you, each and every one. I did have a couple of people message me and ask me if we're going to be doing the membership and all that kind of stuff. But as right now, there's still a few things we have to finalize. Even though we reached the mark of 1K, it's the view times, and after this week and after this episode, probably it's going to go through the roof. So most likely we'll meet that that criteria as well. And we're thinking about instead of it being just like a channel membership, you'll become a member of the council. So there you go.
The Jedi Council.
Cool.
Exactly. Excellent.
Don't sue us, Disney.
Again, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks to the amazing panel, and we'll hopefully see you guys next week. And quick tomorrow's episode will drop of Outbreak Gamers, and it is Dirt Griggity, and man, it is an awesome episode. You do not want to miss that one. And thank you all for coming here and joining us tonight in Gamers Council.